Evaluate the effectiveness of each of the three different levels of intervention. When addressing the issue of pollution, action can be taken on three primary levels, as shown in this table. All three levels may have varying advantages and disadvantages, and the best level of intervention may be different for different types of pollution and in different settings. Often, the most comprehensive approach includes action taken on multiple levels. Reduction of pollution involves altering human activity. This often takes the form of campaigns to educate people on why it is important to take steps to reduce pollution, or laws or financial incentives that encourage people to pollute less. This way, less pollution is produced in the first place, so it cannot reach the environment. Regulation occurs after pollution has been produced, but before it has been emitted. This could include quotas for emissions for larger companies or industries, or the application of technology to filter out pollutants from emissions. Ideally, this also prevents pollutants from ever reaching the places where they can cause harm. Finally, remediation helps to clean up or restore areas that have already been polluted. This could involve extracting pollutants or restocking populations of organisms that have been affected. This is usually more difficult than reduction or regulation, but is often the best solution when the damage is already done. To explore these strategies, let's look at a specific example of pollution and how it can be managed. Acid deposition occurs when primary pollutants emitted by burning fossil fuels, such as nitrogen and sulfur compounds, NOx and SOx, combine with elements in the atmosphere to create nitric and sulfuric acid, which is deposited as either particles or rain. Acid deposition can cause devastating effects, such as killing aquatic organisms that rely on a certain pH, or leaching valuable nutrients like calcium out of the soil. So let's look at some management strategies for acid deposition. On the reduction level, you could reduce the emission of NOx and SOx by reducing the burning of fossil fuels through discouraging use of cars and encouraging public transportation. This might be done by heavily taxing cars and gas and making trains and buses cheaper and more convenient. One advantage of this is that it may address multiple issues, as the burning of fossil fuels causes more than acid deposition. However, the effectiveness of this strategy relies on people changing their behavior, and many people will probably be unwilling to, even if they are given incentives. To regulate this pollution, you could install scrubbers on smokestacks of coal power plants and reduce the amount of SOx they emit. This is helpful in that it doesn't demand much from the everyday citizen, so it may get more public support, but still prevents pollutants from being released. However, this comes at some cost to the coal plants, which might respond by increasing prices or laying off workers to compensate. Finally, you could remediate areas affected by acid deposition by adding lime to impacted bodies of water, which raises the pH. One advantage of this is that it can directly target the areas that have been damaged the most and work quickly to restore them. However, liming is very expensive, so probably not a good long-term solution for every ecosystem that has been affected.